Hello and welcome to Manifest Mindset. In this episode, I'm going to be talking about feeling lost and remaining stagnant. Listen on.
Manifest Mindset with me.
Hello and welcome to Manifest Mindset. By Affirm, Form, Attract. Your place to come to when you need tips and advice when manifesting. We are an affirmation channel and you can find all our affirmation videos on YouTube. Hello and welcome back to Manifest Mindset. I know it has been a while. Apologies. I've just got a lot of things kind of going on and not going on at the same time. Let's move on. Let's move past that. We're going to talk about feeling lost and stagnant. I think I might have mentioned this on the podcast maybe some time ago on episodes, but I want to bring it back again because I was thinking, not too long ago, I was feeling very, very lost. And the worst thing about feeling lost is when you know where you want to go, but you still feel lost anyway. When some people are lost, they don't know what they're doing, they don't want to do their life. It makes it easier because they don't know. But when you know what you want and you know what you want to do, but you still feel lost, it's like a whole another new level of lost. It could be the fact that you don't know how to get there, or life is just not dealing the results you want and you just feel stuck, or you don't have the energy to pursue and push and, all of that type of stuff. It just ends up in a bubble until there's a big fuzz in your head. So anyway, I was just thinking the other day, and I was thinking, I'm feeling I know what I do. I know what I want to do. I don't know what I want to do. I know what direction I want to go in, but is it even worth it? Is it just all in vain? And all those kind of questions. And while I've just mulling through my head, I started to think, what's wrong with me? Like, what is going on with me? In my 20s and my 30s and my early 40s, I was like, I kind of knew what I was going. Even though life wasn't always giving me the results, I was pushing through, enjoying life as much as I can, trying to pick myself up, all of that. And sometimes in life, it comes to a point where all of that crashes and you hit like a 25-inch brick and steel wall each. So it's like 50 inches of blockage right there. And all of a sudden, you just feel completely helpless and hopeless, and just your mind is just about to explode. So anyway, I looked at my life and I think, what's going on? Well, I know that I need to do certain little bits and pieces that I need to do just to get me back up. Yeah, like maintaining house chores and actually doing the list that I write down, and just little things like that. I know what's making me happy, I know what's not making me happy, and trying to fix that. So you know these things, but it's kind of like just getting on and doing it. So with all of that thinking and thinking, I'll sit there and I'm like, I think one of my main problems is that I feel stagnant. I feel as though I'm no longer growing. And I'm the kind of person who has always enjoyed learning stuff, learning little bits, achieving new skills, just for my own personal well-being. And I think there's a part of me that I'm always growing and learning. So don't get me wrong. I'm always, no matter how small the thing I'm learning, I'm always learning something. But at the same time, I feel as though that the kind of learning I'm doing is not enough for me. Like, I can learn more and do more and push further, but a part of me is just, for whatever reason, not doing it. So I sat there and I just think there's certain aspects of my life where I should be so much further ahead. But because I am not doing what I need to do to get there, is why I'm living in the misery that I'm living in. Now, you may shout out, well, just do it, write down your list and just do what you need to do. And we all know we all know what we have to do. And sometimes it's just getting there. And it's like, well, how do I get from point A to point B? Because between point A and point B, there's lots of little A's and B's to get through before you go to point B, before you can start the next section from B to C. And then there's loads of B's and C's, and sometimes a few A's get chucked in there before you get to point C, and so on forth, right down to the rest of the alphabet. So we all know that sometimes life just seems a bundle of confusion. You don't know, you do know, you throw your hands up in the air, and what happens is you start failing. No, I don't want to say the word failing, flailing in life. You start finding that you're not making your bed like you used to. You are being a little bit more untidy. You're eating more unhealthily. You start developing habits that is a hindrance to your life. And I will put my hands up to say is that is where I am now. Everything my art I was doing every single day. I said every day I want to draw a little bit. Yeah, just more illustrative art, okay? Just draw every single day, find topics that I like and keep drawing and get better at my drawing because I want to practice and learn how to shade because my shading sucks. I don't know how to shade and color properly. And I was doing really well. I was drawing, getting just basic illustration stuff. Nothing Leonardo, nothing Picasso, just basic. And I was doing well, and I no matter what, I made sure my pencil and my sketch pad was open, and I would draw a thing or two or three or four. And I was doing that for a while. And somehow that has come to a halt, and I haven't drawn like that for a few months now. One of the things I used to do is every single day I made my bed. No matter what, my bed was made every single day, because nothing beats the feeling of at the end of the night you're going into your bed and you pull back the already made covers and you get into bed. Getting into a bed that's already messy, trust me, it does something to your brain. It really does. I think it kind of it elongates the mood that you're in. Like when my bed is nice and tidy and I get into it, regardless of what's going on in my head, there's this kind of sense of peace. Yeah, it's like it's a welcoming place of peace. When my bed is not made up, it's chaotic. The covers are just, I get into a bit of chaos. So what happens is that you do this from day in and day out, and you will continue, and you will find things start to dwindle. Like my intake of bad snacky food has increased dramatically. Like I've always liked snacks and stuff, but I wasn't really a snacky person. But that's increased drastically. My bed making, I've done a U-turn and I began making my bed again. And that has helped tremendously. The other little bits and pieces in my life that I'm not going to go into detail with, it needs a lot of work doing. But what happens is sometimes when you have all this chaos happening around you, let's just start off in your home, then it can affect your relationships. Luckily, my relationship between me and my son is good, so it hasn't affected that, so I'm blessed. And I thank God every day. But then the relationship with my work or my business and other little things can sneak into it. So, for example, I have no reason not to be happy when I go to work. I have no reason to not be happy when I'm actually doing the stuff that I enjoy doing, my affirmations, my podcast, my this. But somehow it gets affected. There's other projects that I've got going on that I made a promise to myself that it was a new journey, and it was a journey that is quite daunting in a way, but I've always kind of wanted to try it. And by the grace of God, it came unexpectedly for me. And I said to myself, now I'm in this space, it's up to me to make sure I improve my skill set, improve who I am, improve myself, so I can be better at this project that I'm doing. But it kind of just hasn't happened. I got the layout, I got the plans, and it's simple, and I haven't adhered to any of it. And the longer I don't adhere to something is the longer I start to doubt my skill set, doubt whether I really want to do it, doubt my habit, doubt everything. And so what happens is, because I'm not doing what I said I'm going to do, which is grow in specific areas in my life, I find that I become stagnant and I become stale. And then I become frustrated, and then I become annoyed. And then everything around you starts falling apart. And the cycle continues until you literally step out the cycle. Now, you can step outside the cycle at any time you like, but for some reason the devil wants you in that place, and he will keep you there, and you fill your head with all kind of nonsense. But you know what? You do have the power to step out and say, okay, what am I going to do different today to change? What am I going to do different? Now, it may take a little while for you to get there. You might say every day, well, I'm going to do something different, and you don't. And the answer to getting to where you need to go to is to just keep going, keep trying, knowing what you're doing to yourself, knowing how you're sabotaging yourself, knowing that you have the power to change it. Like I said, I just started not making my bed, and now I'm in my bed. I'm starting to make my bed again. My list, I looked over my list on my Notion. I did more travel stuff. I've started to go online to learn how to use my app. I started to go on YouTube to do some research on the project that I'm doing. Well, it's not a project, but a new line of work that I'm doing, so I can get better. I haven't fully thrown myself into it, but the steps are getting bigger and longer, so I'm succeeding in that area. Sometimes it's still a battle. There's still days where you just kind of just ask yourself, you know, is it worth it? I think that's the question. It's like, is it worth it? Am I wasting my time? Life sometimes gets hard and gets harder and even harder, and sometimes it then starts to slowly turn around, but sometimes we don't see the turning points. We don't see when it's turning around, and when that happens, this is when we stop affirming, we stop praying, we stop asking God for help, and we end up going into our souls, and we end up trying to find what can we do, and sometimes we end up looking for quick solutions because you've been at it for so long. You want a quick solution, and sometimes there is, but most times there isn't. A lot of times in life, it's an endurance, is a decision that you have to make, a decision that you have to decide to turn around. Just like if someone is an alcoholic, they can go to all the classes and the help with all the doctors and rehabs all their life. If they don't make a conscious decision to want to get better, they're going to keep falling down. And even when you do make a conscious decision, you're still going to fall down, but then you have to make another conscious decision to keep going. And I've always made a conscious decision that no matter how low I get, I will keep going. I sometimes fall down and I will stay down, and I will just like, I'm not going to get up today. I'm not getting up. And then a couple of days later, I get up. Or even when I say I'm not going to get up, I always end up still doing little bits of stuff. So I suppose I'm in one sense still always trying to continue to fight for myself. I've talked about this before on my channel, about fighting for yourself, showing up for yourself. I'm telling you this story because sometimes it's good when you listen to people and the positiveness and the solutions that they've done. And I've always said, but sometimes you just, you know, in your head, some people might think, well, your life isn't as bad as mine, or it hasn't got as bad as mine. And so sometimes you feel like there's no hope, but there's always hope. Yeah, there's always trust, and you've always got to believe. You always got to have faith. Those of you who believe in God, you know, you put your trust and faith in God. And sometimes you think God is not listening because you think, God, I prayed and I tried and you're not helping me because I'm still in the same position. And you still got to help yourself to a degree. It is about faith. It is about strength. It is about, you know, do you want to continue to go down the path that you're going, or do you want to make changes? You know, sometimes every day I said, like, I'm going to smash this day out. When weekend comes, I'm going to smash this weekend out. I'm going to wash the clothes, wash the dishes, clean up this room, do some work, make these videos, And back in the day, I would have done all of that. I would have just smashed it, or even if I didn't get to the housework part of it, but I would have smashed out work, videos after videos after videos. I would have done this, I would have done that. And then you come to a life where I'm not doing that anymore. Like, even that was a struggle, and there's a big massive part of me that really wants to just smash my day. So I still have that kind of raw energy to do that, but then there's a part that's like just the negative part that's really stopping me from getting there, really stopping me, like, really, it's all in vain. Look, you ain't got much subscribers, you ain't got much this, or this isn't happening, you're wasting your time. And that's the devil speaking. That's the negative thing speaking to your head, and that is what you have to fight. I believe in trying to share my experiences with people. My life isn't hokey-dory. Like I said, it's a journey, and days I'll have good days, and then I'll have bad days. Sometimes the bad days outweigh the good days. If I'm honest with you, if I'm really honest, I've had days that's just been knocking me off and knocking me around, like I'm someone in a boxing ring, and I'm losing. I'm just getting boxed left, right and center. And the more I focus on it, the more serious the box feels. And sometimes the box isn't that serious, but if you focus on it, it feels serious. But there are times when I do get up and I box back and I fight back. Like I said, all of a sudden I stopped making my bed. No reason. And when I used to make my bed, it was automatic. So why would I stop making the bed? And I tell you why. Because when other areas of your life just seems very negative, seem very against you and very kind of chaotic, it's like a virus. It will spread into areas of your life that you had a good habit on. If you had a good habit in always putting away your clothes after you finish, or you had a good habit of washing the dishes, even if you don't do other aspects, but you got some aspects that you keep on top with, that's great. Hold on to them. But if you give in to, like I was doing, and the thing is, I was consciously knowing I was giving into what I was giving into, and I was fighting it, but then there was a part of me that was just wanting to give up. And I kept saying to myself, well, do you like the alternative? And his answer is no. Right, you don't like the alternative. The alternative is going to make you just be so miserable, probably depressed, probably just want to stay in your house, don't go nowhere, don't do this, and it's not going to help you. So you might as well keep trying and keep pushing. And my message to you is that I'm not going to have the absolute solution, because I don't always think that everybody does. But like I said, I can always give you some advice and tips for you to try. But my tip for you today, or not even tip, my advice for you today is to keep going. Keep striving, keep pushing. I was meant to do a podcast last week. It just didn't happen for whatever reason. I'm doing it now. I'm speaking it now. I washed the dishes this morning. I put a load of washing in, which after this podcast, hopefully finish, I can hang out so I can put another load of washing. I'm looking around and thinking, oh my gosh, this needs clearing up, this needs tidying up, this needs tidying up, this needs doing, but I'm going to get stuff done. And today is the day where I think, you know what, I've got a good few hours left. It's getting darker later, so it makes you feel like you got more of the day. And how can I win the day? I don't want to win a day by a little bit. I know baby steps, but I want to win the day where I'm doing more than I did yesterday and the day before that and the day before that. And so what you can do, guys, is, I know it's hard to come out of that thought process of feeling down and low and all the rest of it, but keep taking aspects of a habit that you stop doing. Like, I want to get back into my art, because every time I say to myself, I keep saying to myself, I haven't done art for ages. I haven't done my art for ages. I haven't done art for ages. And I will sit there and I'll be doing other things and not other things. And, well, sometimes I even come into my head. But like I said, recently I stopped making my bed, but it didn't last long. Me not making my bed didn't last long, I have to say. It was maybe about a couple of weeks. And then now I've got back to making my bed. So that didn't last long. Write a list of the habits that you were doing effortlessly, where you've now stopped, or you're starting to do a little more infrequently. Try and get those habits back. You'd be surprised how the disease, the virus of feeling sorry for yourself or feeling low, or the bruises that you're getting for life will infect you. It's like it'll just go and it will spread. Next thing you know, you're eating takeaways all the time, or maybe not eating at all. You might take up smoking when you never did before. You might take up drinking more alcohol. And that's how, unfortunately, certain things are. It doesn't mean tomorrow you're going to wake up and you're going to grasp their life and get your stuff back together. Some people can manage to do that. They're like, right, no, I don't like my life, how it's going. Boom, they start tidying up. They start doing things. But not everybody can get there. So my advice to you is, start with the habits that you was doing effortlessly, that you was just always doing, and then start gaining those back, and then start branching out into other areas of your life. Okay, so I'm going to leave this podcast here. It's not it's more of a chat with you lot to just share my experiences in life and where I've been and where I have. Hopefully, you know, you take this and hopefully it can help you. By the way, I just want to let you know I started. Oh God, I don't know what's wrong with me. I started a new channel. It's a channel that it's been playing in my head that I would like to start. It's a prayer channel called Hear My Prayers, where I just do prayers, just pure prayers on this channel, and it's doing very well so far. I started end of February, and I'm nearly at 300 subscribers, so it's growing very, very fast. But I'm going to chat more in my next podcast. But until then, guys, thank you for listening as always.